Hi everyone, it's Tricia. I'm going to be going through a mat or floor-based yoga class today. If you like to use any extra padding under your body during class, then this would be a time that we might bring a blanket, get a towel or a cushion, something to help support us in that way. We don't even really need a mat. We just need some space on the floor that we can move freely with our body. Once you have those pieces together, bringing what you need to your practice space, we'll all come to lying on our backs together. So grab what you can, set yourself up, and we'll all meet on the mat. See you there in a moment. So as we're coming onto our backs, you're finding a way that feels supportive and comfortable for your body. So that might be with bent knees, right? It might be with extended legs. You could have your arms closer to your body, right? They could be out to the side. They could be overhead. So whatever feels like you can really move into your body, experience more. That's kind of the shape that we want to take. Right, and then once we have that shape, then it becomes this practice really of starting to tune in. Right, so that tuning in, there's a quieting of the head space. We move more fully into our body space, our feeling body space, as opposed to emotional feeling space, head space. And then the tool to get into that body space, again, we come back to it, is the breath, right? So noticing our breath in, right, and noticing our breath out. So when we start to have that more singular focus here on the breath, right, then we can see perhaps how that just start to change how our body responds in kind. Often there's like a settling or a softening in the body. Sometimes we even feel kind of a drop of the muscles that are a little bit tighter. We feel them release actively. Right, and there tends to be some kind of a softening or maybe a slowing to the breath. Right, often it becomes more full. Now notice how it feels in your face, in your jaw, behind your forehead. Right, and then see too how you feel in the belly. So noticing if there's tightness in the belly. See if you can let that become a little bit more mobile. So there is a soft rise with the belly with our inhale. Right, and a softening back with the exhale. A few times like that. Start to add in some movement here, and we'll first draw the left thigh in towards the belly. So we could be holding on behind the thigh or in front of the shin. We're going to take the left knee out to the left, and then we're going to bring it back towards center, right? Out to the left and then back towards center. If it feels good, right, you can take it past center and more to the right. So you can have a really big side-to-side movement, or you can have it a little more soft with just the left to center, right? So see what's resonating with you today. And then we're going to come back to center with that thigh. And as we come back to this center with the thigh, we're going to snuggle it in a little bit more. As we snuggle it in more, turn the right toes up towards the ceiling and kind of move out through this ball of the right foot. So you feel all the leg muscles kind of turn on. Belly button moves towards the mat. So we're also engaged through our core. Breath in, we're going to take right foot up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, we're going to lower back down to the mat, right? So there's the cycle. Lift with the inhale. And then lower with the exhale. So you might have a bend to your knee, you might have a longer leg, so you're moving like you. Trying to stay really slow and controlled with the movement. So we're using our abdominal muscles rather than momentum to lift and lower the leg, like not kicking. All right, the next time we take that right leg up towards the ceiling, we're going to keep that leg extended. Here we can circle out to the ankle. We can circle out the other way. Wiggling the toes, stretching out through the toes, right? We can point and flex that foot a few times. All right, as the foot flexes back, we're going to lower that heel down to just above the mat. So a few strengthening breaths here, just as we are. Or if you want to add in more, we can roll up the nose to the knee, right? Even more arms long by the sides of the body. Let's take 3 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Good job. If the head and shoulders were lifted, bring the head back to the ground. Bring both knees back in, and then you can let the left foot reconnect to the mat. That leg's going to lengthen out. We're going to keep that right thigh in, and then here again, we're going to go side to side first. So right knee out to the right, and then back to center. And again, it might just be that movement. If you want a little extra, then you're going to keep going over to the left with that right leg, right? So right as big as it feels comfortable for you. And then we'll start to move back to center with that leg. So as you come back through center, even out through the lower back, we're going to hug that right thigh in a little bit more. And then move out through the ball of the left leg. So feel all those muscles in the left leg engage. Again, belly button down towards the mat. Second side, lifting now left leg with the inhale. And then lowering back down towards the mat with the exhale. All right. So this side might be different feeling for you. So certainly adapting as you need to, bend your leg, higher lift, lower lift. So doing what you need to do so you can really stay controlled with the movement, right? Really thinking about feeling the belly here as we move. Yes. And then the next time that we take the left leg up, we're going to keep that leg extended, or we can circle out through the ankle. Circling in the other direction. Wiggling the toes, stretching out through the toes. The foot's going to point and flex a few times. And as we take that flex foot back again, hold that. Belly's extra engaged. We're going to drop now that left heel down towards the mat. We're going to hover up for a few breaths like we are. Maybe with that added on knee to nose. Maybe with the extended arm. Again, here we go for 3. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Good job. Bring both thighs back in. Head and shoulders return to the mat if they're lifted. Hands are going to come down by the sides of the body. And we're not sitting on them necessarily, but they're pretty close to the body. And then we're going to stretch the feet up towards the ceiling. Right? And if I might have bend your legs, I might have more extended legs. All right. I'm going to try to just lift This might just be energetic and not actually look like anything, but I'm gonna try to lift my hips up off the ceiling and send my feet towards the ceiling. Yep, a few times there. See if you got 2 more. All right, as the hips come back down, we're gonna bend the knees so the heels are gonna fall towards the back of the body. Again, you can hold, now hands can slide up to the outside edges of the thighs. Just give yourself a little side to side rock here. Yeah, and then centering back. We'll keep the thighs in. Let the arms open up now to the sides like a T. All right, last bit of strengthening here. Knees are going to be at center with the inhale. Exhale. Right, we're going to drop them to a side. Right, inhaling back through center. Exhaling, other side. All right. So taking the toes down to the mat's going to drop down the level of intensity. And if the lower back's feeling a little bit gentle or, in need of gentleness, I should say right now, maybe that feels like the right way to go. Right, if you're looking for a little more intensity around this, then you could lift the shins up, right? So it becomes a bit more dynamic practice, right? So lifting the legs up if you want a more dynamic practice, right? Heels kind of towards the back of the thighs, more medium, right? Toes all the way to the mat for a softer one. Seeing what feels like the right fit for you. All right, the next time that the legs fall over to the left, you're gonna let them come all the way down to relax down to the mat. You're still stretching out through that right arm. Even if it's kind of floating up off the floor, you're feeling like that stretch right into the shoulder head. We can keep the knees bendy here as the legs move to the side, or if you want to deepen the stretch, right, you can lengthen out through the legs. You can try to reach for those big toes. Looking like you. Here we go for 3. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. If the legs were extended, we're going to rebend them. We're going to move back through center. And then we're going to go to the opposite side, right? So letting now the legs connect down to the right side. Same thing, that left arm still stretched out, right? It might be kind of floating up. We want to really get into the shoulder as much as it feels comfortable. If it's too much, again, always soften, please. Bend your knees, longer legs. Maybe you're reaching for those big toes. Yep, looking like you. Yep, here we go again for 3. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. And breathing out 3. Go ahead and just roll all the way onto your right side. Bend the knees if the legs are long, just so you can move up to sitting from your side. So we'll roll onto our side so we can press ourselves up. Yeah, and as we come up to a seat, I want us to keep the legs extended. So we want our sit bones as connected to the mat as they can be. So if you got stuff, you can move stuff around, right? So we can feel our sit bones connect. And then even with the legs, you might even kind of draw the leg flesh out a little bit so we can feel that rotation, right? So it feels open through the outer thighs more. We can still have bendier knees, right? And you might even, if you're using that propping, right, just kind of press it right underneath the thigh so it feels like you get a little bit more softness in the lower back and the quads. All right, so I'm lengthening out through my feet. If we were standing up, right, our feet would be equally on the floor, right? And they might not be equal right now, but I want you to look at them and try to make them equal, right? So it might be this little hip shift. Like in general, none of us have the same length legs, right? We're all a little bit off with, you know, our alignment or our, I don't know, length in our body, right? We're not a robot, like we're human beings. So just kind of feel that little shift. So sometimes it's really subtle, but when we have like those little things in the lower back, often it's just about these inconsistencies in our body, which we all have. But when we're seated, we can move into that more actively, right? That evenness. So feel that. All right. Hands are going to come to the chest. So we're gonna rotate here, but as I'm rotating, see what's happening with the feet. We're gonna play with this as we move through it. Okay. So we're gonna start with the right hand. So our right hand's gonna be on top of the hands. Right hand on top. And then we're going to breathe in, we're going to sit tall. And as we exhale, we're going to open up with that right arm. We're going to move all the way to the side, right? We're going to try to get the torso to shift. Yep. And then we're going to inhale back to center. As we come back to center, we're going to swap the hands. So the left hand's on top. It's going to be the same thing. So then when we exhale, we're going to turn to the left. We're going to inhale back to center. Switch the hands. We're going to exhale to the right. All right. All right, so there's a cycle. Keep going through it. Remember that little hand switch. As we move, the hips are shifting here, right? So you're going to feel the little shift. That's great. I want you to just kind of notice how that's happening. We're going to go through this a few more times, and then we're going to see what it looks like at the end. Right? And then while you're moving, you know, you might keep that bend to your arm. Right? It might be more extended. You might have a bigger movement. You might have a smaller movement. Right, but kind of notice where you're feeling this in the body as we twist, right? And it might be very different where you feel it on the right side, right? And where you feel it on the left side. All right, we're going to take it open to the right side one more time. And then to the left side one more time. And then as we come back to center after our left side, we're going to pause here, right? We're going to stay at center. We'll let the hands connect back down to the tops of the thighs. Check out your feet. See where you kind of ended up. See if you can level them out again a little bit. And then we're just going to kind of itsy bitsy spider forward with the fingertips. So we're just going to start to drop the chest forward. Just till you start to feel that stretch. When you start to feel the stretch, let the head be heavy. Right? So the stretch is going to deepen with the dropping of the chin to the chest. Right, and as we breathe here, there might be some surrendering, right, of the chest more towards the thighs or not. We're just taking our time. We're just being present with it. Yeah, give yourself 2 more breaths. See where you go with them. All right, as your inhale comes, we're going to come back to a tall seat. If we were utilizing something under the thighs, just go ahead and shift it off to the side again. The legs are going to lengthen out, but we're going to come back with the torso. So hands are going to come behind the hips. If fingertips can face forward, super. If it's too much in the wrist, then you're going to automatically just kind of change the hands as you need to. So I want to lift up my chest here, and I want to point through my toes. And I could have a lifted chest with the bend to your elbows. I could have longer arms or see what feels okay for you. If it feels nice to let the head drop back, go for it. And we're going to take 3 breaths, breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. Nice job. Soften the lifted chest. We'll still keep the hands back though. And then now we're going to bring the feet to the floor. All right. All right. So this is going to be a little bit weight bearing in the wrist. If you need to shift out the hands, just do what you need to do. Just putting that out there. So let's see what we can do with this. We are going to keep the soles of our feet on the floor, and we're just going to see about lifting the hips up. And then we're going to bring it back down. Yep, we're going to do that a few times. So maybe a little lift, maybe a bigger lift. We're going to bring it back down. Yep, keep going. Yeah, see if we got one more. Nice job. As the seat comes back down, we'll come back to a comfortable seat with the soles of the feet and the knees out to the side. Just, I'll even face forward now. Right, and just letting ourselves be still here for a few breaths. So letting the hips settle, right? Softening the knees open, softens through the hips. Eyes can be soft, just taking a few breaths. And one more breath here. All right, let's make our way up to standing. Yeah. So we're going to find ourselves a mountain, and I want us to feel now in our standing body how that feels, right? So we did a lot of work on the mat, strengthening, lengthening, aligning, especially through the hips and the lower body. So see how that feels now for us in our standing body. Yeah, front body, back body. And then we're going to add in now some movement. So we want to try to stay with still that feeling of alignment, front body, back body. Of course, when we're on the floor, it's creating more structure where that's easier. So we'll see how it goes now with when we have more room to move in space, right? When my feet are closer together, it creates a little bit more structure in the movement, right? And that might feel great for me. If it feels too tight, and often like too tight feels like a drag in my knees, maybe step just a little bit wider. It'll create a little bit more opening, right? So this is what your play might be. All right. So when we breathe in, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to drop the hips back. So I'm really shooting my hips back. I'm going to bend my knees, but then I'm lifting up my belly at the same time. My arms are going to come up. All right. And then exhale. I'm going to use my glutes. I'm going to press up. My arms are going to press back, right? As much as it feels good. So the arm here, we're going for range of motion. So you're going to reach as high as you can, right? And then you're going to press back as much as you can, right? So the hip dropping, that's a little bit more power. So the more that you drop your hips, right, you're going to be more active through the shape, right? If you want to be a little bit softer, right, you're not taking the hips down as far. If you're feeling like a rock star and you want to go even more into this today, see about lifting up your toes, right? You're going to feel the inner thighs and the arches of the feet turn on too. So dialing up, again, dialing down. Do what you need to do to take care of you, right? Point is to be in the practice. All right, the next time that the hips drop down, that's where we're going to hold in our chair pose, right? So you know you're going to be here for a few breaths, so adapt it so it feels sustainable. Yeah, here we go for 3. Breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. Good job. Power up. Inhaling. We're going to lengthen everything. And as we lengthen everything, bring the hands together overhead. So as my hands together overhead, I'm interlocking my thumbs. I could have bendier elbows. I could have longer arms, right? My arms might be forward. My arms might move more back. But as I move my arms, right, my spine's not moving. It's just my arms. So if my arm's coming back makes me drop my booty, bring them more forward. All right, same thing. Foot placement makes a difference here. So the closer my feet are in together, it's a little bit more challenging with balance. You might like that. Step them a little bit wider if you want to feel a little bit more stable with the movement. All right, belly button in through the spine, long lower back. Here's your breath in. Exhaling, nip out to the side. Inhaling center, right, exhaling side. All right. So moving like you means you're really listening to your breath cycle. Right, trying to allow for full inhale and full exhale, which means that your pace might start to get really different than mine. Yeah, let's try one more time each side. And we're going to come back through center. Breathe in a little tall. Exhale out of the mouth. Let the arms go. If the feet are in really close, give yourself a little more distance. And then we're going to lean over to the left, noodle arm. Yeah, come back through center. We'll do the same thing to the right. Lean over to the right, noodle arm. All right, coming back to center. Bring the palms together at the center of the chest. Let the thumbs rest at the sternum. Now, if you're comfortable, eyes can close, or instead we might just turn the gaze down to a spot on the floor in front of us. 3 breaths here in mountain. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. And breathing out 3. All right, softly opening the eyes. We're going to play a little bit here with balance. So if you need to shift where you are in space, so you have a chair or the wall next to you to help you feel more supported through the balance portion, then scooch over there. Yeah, and it's going to be our warrior 3. And again, I'll build it up. So you're going to be in it in a way that feels sustainable for you. Right? So we're still in our mountain pose here. I just turned to the side now. And then I'm going to pick up my right foot. I'm just going to step it back. So my toes are on the floor, and my back toes are on the floor, and my front foot fully. Both feet are facing forward. If it feels a little bit wobbly here, right, I can always step that back foot out a little bit more, right? Because, so again, it's like that wider footing, right? That helps with balance. All right, so before we even move here into a more bouncy, just think about lifting up the hips. So it's super small, the movement, but it's a big stretch right through the hip flexor here, thinking about tendons. And then think about that back foot. See if you can draw that heel just kind of towards the middle mat a little bit more so you can feel the inner thigh, the arch of the foot turn on. All right, if there's space, arms are going to stretch up towards the ceiling. And then I want us to see if we could just lean a little bit forward. Lean a little bit forward. All right, we're going to see about a toe tap with that back foot. So we're going to see if we can lift it, toe tap. Yep, we're going to lift it, toe tap, back down. One more time, we're going to lift it, and then toe tap. Good job. Here we're going to see about lifting and holding, if you like. 3 breaths. Breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. Nice job. Feet are going to step back together. Hands come together at the center of the chest. Again, giving yourself a few breaths here in mountain. Thinking about this as like a settling, like as a pause. Maybe wiggling through the feet. Again, having that tactile connection to the mat. Yeah. And then we're going to visit the second side. Right, so now our other foot's going to step back, right? So we are going to have a lifted heel. The back toes are on the mat. Again, stepping a little bit wider, right? See if that helps you feel more stable in a balancy way. And then once we have that, again, there's a little bit of a feeling of pushing forward with the hips. Like, so it's a little bit of a tuck here. So I feel that hip, again, really opening. Now I have to lift to my belly. All right, if there's space, the arms can stretch up. And then we're going to see again about just leaning a little bit forward. So the lean here is like I'm hinging at the hips. There's those hips pressing back again, like in our chair pose. Really engage a lot through the big toe and that front foot. Feel that inner thigh. Let's try those toe taps again. So back leg lifts, toe tap down. Yep, 2 more times. Toe tap down, 1 more time. Toe tap down. Let's see if we can have it in a hold for 3 breaths. If we can, here we go. We'll breathe in 1. Breathe out. Breathe in 2. Breathe out. Breathe in 3. And breathe out. Good job. Feet are going to come back together. Hands come back to the center of the chest and mountain. Yeah. Settling. One more breath here. All right. From mountain, we're going to move into a straddle pose. So we're going to step the feet out wider. You can let the hands go too if you want. Yeah. All right. And then we're going to move from the toes facing forward to a little turnout, right? So I'm going to turn the toes and the knees out, like 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock-ish, right? You can keep the hands in the center. You can keep them on the hips. See what feels more natural to you. We're going to do like a couple dips here. So we're just going to track the knees towards the toes. We're going to drop down, right? And then we're going to come back up. Right, slow and steady. See what feels right for you, right? So it might be just a little bit, right? You might be more dynamic here. Notice if booty starts to pop out. Try to keep that lift in the hips up towards the rib cage, right? So there's that lift in the front body and a lengthening through the lower body. Yeah, front body, back body, pardon. All right, one more time. Just kind of notice where your edge is. All right, we're going to go back into our squat is at that level that feels sustainable for you because we're going to hold it. So we're going to drop in, right? And you're going to see what feels okay. And then once we have that, we're going to bring the arms down. All right, so we're going to be turning the torso, but we're going to try to keep the legs as they are. And so we're going to start to take the left arm up overhead, and then we're going to lean over to the right. We're going to stretch. All right, we're going to come back through center, inhale, and then we're going to swap it. We're going to exhale over to the right. Come down. Now here we go, just a few times. Right? So I don't know, work it like a moon. Think of it like a clock. Let's try again one more time each side. As we come back through center, this last time, let both hands come down. See if you just go down a little bit more, bring the hands out. We're going to hold here. If you want to be extra, maybe the heels come up. 3 breaths, breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. Good job. Drop the heels if they lifted. Legs are going to lengthen. Feet are going to come back in. Yeah, as we find our mountain, we're going to leave the arms long by the sides of the body. Let's spin the palms forward. There's a little lift of the chest, of the chin. Eyes again can soften or close if that feels okay. 3 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Good job. Let the hands relax. So they're going to face the thighs. Arms are relaxed by the side. Give yourself a couple turns here with the head. And next time the chin and chest come together, take the turns in the opposite direction. And one more circle here, ending with the chin at the chest. We'll bring the head back to neutral, gaze straight ahead. From here, we're going to inhale the shoulders up. Exhale out of mouth and kind of move out of the arms as the shoulders drop. Let's do that again. Last time. Good job. All right. So we're going to finish up with a little bit of seated hip stretching. And I say that because you might prefer to be in a chair. So if you know that's you, go ahead and sit down in your chair, but it can't be a rolly chair. If you can come down to the mat, then come down to the mat, but that just creates a little bit deeper flexion. So if you know that that's a lot in your knees or your hips, just go to a chair, because the same shapes work with a more elevated seat as well. All right, so if we're on the floor, right, we have our bent knees, right? And if we're in the chair, it's the same shape, right? Feet are on the ground. It's just that my seat is the same height as my knees. All right. So if we're on the floor, we can let the chest drop back again more, but if we're in the chair, we'll be seated upright. We're going to bring the right ankle over the left thigh. Okay. You might have to help it. Okay. And then once we get that ankle over the thigh, we're going to flex through the foot, and then I'm moving my knee away from my chest, right? Already you might feel like this is a lot. Great, that means you're there. If you have more space, then the chest is moving towards the shin, right? So if I'm on the floor, my chest is coming more upright. If I'm in a chair, my chest is obviously moving a little bit more towards the floor. All right, let's try to lengthen out through the spine either way. Here we go for 5 breaths. Breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. We got 2 more. Breathing in, breathing out 4, breathing in, breathing out 5. Good job. All right, if you're in the chair, slide your right thigh over your left thigh. If we're on the floor, lengthen out that left leg and bring your right foot to the floor. So, yep. And then we're going to give ourselves a little hug to that bent knee, right? So we're going to have a little turn. Yeah, good job. Here we go. 5 breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Breathing in. Breathing out 4. Breathing in. Breathing out 5. Nice job. Come back through center with the chest. We're going to switch out legs. So uncrossing the legs. Both feet come back to the floor. We can sit back again if we're on the mat, sitting tall if we're in our chair. Now we're going to have our left ankle over our right thigh. Right, and right, make it as big as you need to make it okay, right? Yeah. And then flex foot. Trying to move the knee away from us. We got a couple breaths, just like you are. If you want to move deeper into the stretch, then it's the chest moving towards the shin. We got it for 5 here. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Breathing in. Breathing out 4. Breathing in. Breathing out 5. All right, if we're in the chair, just slide the thigh over the thigh. If we're on the mat, lengthen out through the right leg so the left foot can come down. All right, sitting tall, we're going to hug that knee. Right, if we're on the chair, we can bring the right arm outside the left thigh. Yeah. All right, here we go again for 5. We're going to breathe in 1. Breathe out. Breathe in 2. Breathe out. Breathe in 3. Breathe out. Breathe in 4. Breathe out. Breathe in 5. And breathe out. Inhaling, coming back through center. We'll uncross the legs. We're going to make our way down onto our backs for our final resting pose. If you're in a chair and you want to stay in the chair, that's, just sit back in it and feel comfortable, then maybe you're doing that. As if we're lying down on the mat, it might feel nice to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees open out to the side, right? You might prefer to keep the legs long, right? You have a blanket, maybe it's under the head, maybe it's under a knee, right? Or maybe it's over the front of your body, right? So yeah, definitely getting yourself comfortable. Yeah, once we're in that supported still space, yeah, we can let our attention again fall into the rhythm of the breath, breathing in together, breathing out, and then breathing in for 1, 2, 3, breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing the count to yourself into 3 out to 6. Ease back into the body with a wiggling of finger, a wiggling of toes, rolling of wrists, rolling of ankles. Now find one more big stretch with the breath in. And then with your exhale, soften. Knees can draw in towards the belly so we can roll onto our side. And from our side, we can make our way back up to a seat. As we find our seat, we can let the eyes stay soft or closed. Bringing a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. Breathing in through the nose. Soft breath out of the mouth. And again, like that. Softening your head to your heart. Honoring the light within you. Seeing and honoring that same light in each and every one of us. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me for our yoga class today. I hope you're leaving feeling grounded and centered and more strong in both body and mind. I'll look forward to seeing you in our next class together. Until then, take good care. Bye for today.